Hey folks, this is Vint with Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Starforged Legacy. According to my press kit, the game is coming to early access Q4 2025 with a demo available in September 2025. Although there's no early access tag on the Steam store page, so the press email is telling me one thing. The Steam store page doesn't have that early access blue box that I typically see, so maybe that's just a problem with Steam. Anyway, one quick feedback I want to give about the options menu. There's no UI size increase, and I had a hard time seeing the options. I have a hard time seeing in general, so I always look for some kind of UI scale thing. Anyway, this is a sci-fi survivors-esque kind of game. It is a roguelite with permanent progression and skill trees. You'll be able to choose between one of 6 ships. Luckily, you don't have to unlock any of them. They all are available right from the start of the game. There's like frigates, and then a cruiser, and then a battleship. I chose the battleship for my playthrough, and the way the game works, you've got this text-based grid. It branches out into different directions, and you can choose what mission you want to undertake and what rewards you would get from that. So you get to choose the direction, you get to choose what to encounter next. I really like that aspect of it. It gives me the freedom to sort of pick and choose where I want to go. However, my initial experience with the game was a bit negative in the sense that I felt like I wasn't powerful enough at all to deal with the threat. The battlecruiser shoots one railgun shot every couple of seconds, and there were 50 plus enemies on the screen, and I'm charged with protecting the space station, and I couldn't shoot fast enough for the amount of enemies coming at me. And I'm like, what is going on here? And is this a rogue light in the sense that it's you're expected to fail this quickly in the game? But then I got more powerful later on, and I'm like, now I'm feeling great. This is amazing. Maybe the early game is just not tuned enough. Maybe it's a bit over-tuned. So if I had to give any feedback, the early game, I think, scales a bit too much. The battleship doesn't fire fast enough to deal with all the enemies that you're throwing at the station, which is one of the mission types that you have to defend. So yeah, I think that part of it needs to be tuned a bit, because as the game progressed, and as I bought new weapons from the station, and as I upgraded things, I felt very powerful. And I was actually really starting to enjoy it. So I think there's an issue there with the early game scaling. There's also no tutorial, and I had to sort of be left with trying to figure out what different things meant. For example, I could mine these asteroids as I was shooting things, and that's automatic, by the way. It's like a survivors game, automatic shooting. But there were asteroids I could mine out, and I'm getting this purple resource. It says +1, or +2. What am I getting from that? What is that doing? And my thruster bar that I can hold shift to move faster, that's purple. So I'm thinking to myself, so does that mean that these asteroids are charging my thruster faster because the colors match? No, it's actually credits that you're earning in the upper left that have no color. There's credits in the upper left. Credits are a temporary resource that will allow you to buy new weapons when you go to a shop and that. But there's also permanent, credits are also used in your skill tree. There's also this asteroids icon. There's a science icon and an upside down triangle icon. There's no tooltips telling me what these things are or what they're supposed to do. But when I got to the skill tree, I'm like, oh, okay, so you're going to be spending these things at the skill tree in between games in order to... That's the roguelite element of it. So I'm like, okay. And also pickups. I saw pickups on the battlefield, but there was no indication as to what they did. And that was a little messy and confusing, and I didn't know, what I was picking up. So little things like that, I think, that need to be worked on. And also, as much as I love the backgrounds, sometimes they are really difficult for me to make out what I'm doing, and you'll see that in a minute here. But don't get me wrong, the backdrops are beautiful in this game. I love them. That being said, sometimes they're not practical to a game like this when you're trying to see what you're doing. I had to pick up survivors, for example, on this one map, but there was this giant glaring sun in the background, and I couldn't make out anything. I have trouble seeing already, and now I can't see where anything is. So I like the backgrounds. They're beautiful, but they're also not practical to be able to see what I'm doing. So I think that needs to be addressed as well. And you also pick up new weapons as you go, like different leveled weapons. But I wasn't able to sell old weapons, and there was no indication as to how many maximum weapons I could hold. I was at the shop, for example. I'm like, I want to buy this weapon, but I can't. Is that I'm at my maximum item limit? But the game didn't tell me I was, and it just there was no feedback there. So like I know I'm complaining a lot, but I'm trying to give as much feedback as possible in a matter of 8 minutes here. And I love the gameplay loop. And I love the satisfaction of, flying this beach whale across these different maps, getting more powerful as I go. I love that. And I love the rewards that you get for beating these levels. Definitely needs improvement across various categories that I've already mentioned. But yeah, I'm loving the gameplay loop, and I love the roguelite element to it. I'm gonna get stronger and stronger and stronger as I play. So now I don't feel so bad about that initial difficulty spike. That being said, I still think that needs addressed. So yeah, aside from the learning curve hiccups that I had because the game wasn't very forthcoming with things, I had a great time with this. In fact, I recorded over, I want to say half an hour to an hour's worth of footage when I didn't mean to. I forgot about recording and I was just playing, having a blast with it. So yeah, the game, definitely check this one out. I mean, as of right now, there's a playtest option on the Steam store page. If you can get into that, maybe check that out. Just keep in mind, playtest builds typically don't save your progress over to the full version. So yeah, just be wary of that. So yeah, I do recommend this one. Once the developer, puts in some quality of life features to make the game a bit more intuitive, then yeah, I think this is going to be a blast to play. Real quick, one other thing I forgot to mention. At the end of a mission, like when you're playing and you beat the objective for that map, very briefly, the hit G to activate your hyperspace or whatever comes up, but then it disappears. I think that should be permanently on screen so players don't forget what key to hit. That's another quality of life thing I'd like to see. So I still think it's a blast to play, but it'll be even better once those quality of life features I mentioned earlier are possibly introduced. This is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.